Greetings, and welcome back to Brick and Lantern. Today I want to take a look at the Star Wars set, and also talk about toyeticness versus modeling. My definition of toyeticness is definitely different compared to other definitions, and if you've been on the channel you've heard it before, but when it comes to toyeticness, my definition is toy-like quality or to-be-played-withness of a toy. So take a look at this Star Wars model that I'm now swooshing on screen for example. This TIE fighter has a couple of play features, but is mostly focused on modeling. We have a couple of flick-fire missiles in the front of the TIE fighter, which I'll be demoing on screen now, as well as a cockpit section for our lovely Imperial pilot. Two play features mixed in with modeling, but I think that this model is mostly used for swooshing and kind of rates low on the playability factor. Which also is the same that can be said about this 90th anniversary castle. I love this model. It's absolutely amazing, one of my favorite tiny, small little scale models of this elegant yellow castle. However, save for this tiny little red flag on a clip, there are no play features on this thing. It is entirely to be looked at, and when we discuss playability, when we discuss toyetic nature, this is not really a toy so much as it is a model compared to something like a play set or something of an action figure that has a actual playable function. And I love this set. I think it's amazing. Doesn't really talk to me as a toy so much as it speaks to me as a model, and this is something that we're going to be continuing to talk about throughout the years with LEGO. Is it seems like they're moving more toward this elegant modeling system compared to saying these are toys, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I definitely think that licensed themes and themes that they're trying to represent things like, for example, the TIE Fighter or a Nissan Skyline that just came out, it's kind of difficult to put play features in them because they're so committed to realizing this vision. And yeah, it's geared toward adults. It's geared toward adult collectors. It's telling children that, you know, maybe this isn't so much for you because you build this thing and you swoosh it around or you drive it around, but you're not really going to be able to play with it in a really robust way if you compare it to an older set, if you compare it to something like a LEGO Racers or an old school LEGO Castle theme where there are a lot of play features and it's a little bit more function over form. But that does go to the other side of the coin, which is a toy. When you're talking about toyetic nature, when you're talking about wanting to be able to play with something, sometimes you actually forsake some of that modeling and some of that visual appeal in order to get to just straight up a toy. I like to think of Nintendo's Ultra Hand. It's just this contraption that you use, pincer, and it grabs things. It's not really so much a beautiful physical representation of an object. It's not a model per se, and plays into the Lion Knight's Castle from 2000, one of my favorite sets, but has a lot of play features. Like, the amount of playability that they shove into this thing, as well as modularity with individual instructions, alternate builds, really being able to mix and match this model to your own love. It's entirely geared toward play, this thing, and I think that is super cool that there are sets like this that are geared toward play with just play features in mind. I mean, this set has probably 5 to 6 play features on its own. This revolving glass door on the top of the Citadel is one of my favorites. You know, you have the dropping, raising, and lowering portcullis. You have traps. You have the King's Throne also has play features. I mean, these things are just everywhere. And the playability of this set is amazing. I mean, you can siege this castle. You can rebuild it. There are 4 to 5, catapults that you can make out of this thing. But looking at it, and maybe it's just the LEGO system charm coming through, there's not a lot of curved bricks or anything here, it's mostly just exposed studs. There is a focus on playability, and it's lacking in the modeling and looks department. I mean, I love this set to death, but it is not a looker compared to sets that will come later, sets that came before that were strictly modeling based. This thing doesn't have a lot going for it in the looks department, and I think that is something that you trade off as an AFOL, as a modeler, is that if you want playability, like I'm looking at a modular system set in front of me, if you want playability, you have to sacrifice some display, I think. And that's just the trade-off that you have to make. And I think that you got to be able to willingly do that, and whether or not, we're catering toward imagination and play and fun and various features, or we are catering toward using system pieces to represent real-life cars, real-life settings, noodle shops, Nissan Skylines, Ferraris, that kind of thing. But maybe there's some way that we can actually balance the two. And it comes in the form of one of my favorite, most recent sets that I really haven't talked about too much. The swishability rating is off the charts. The Galaxy Explorer from the 90 Years of Play line, the Icons line. This set's amazing. I mean, look at this thing. It has modeling on lock. This is an amazing, amazing set to look at. Just to marvel at the fact that it is so faithful to the original and yet even increases the amount of playability and really speaks to the spirit of LEGO as a toy compared to LEGO as like a modeling system or an art medium. It really gets down to the nature of this is a toy to be played with, and I think that is super cool that they managed to blend play features with form incredibly in this set. Here's one of my absolute favorite play features that I'm going to engage in here. This is the rover at the back of the ship. You actually can pull out a ramp and it will drop the rover down. This is so cool, and it's really nice that they were able to hide it away in the ship. So kids who had this set will be able to roll it out, have the lunar lander explore the surface of the moon or whatever planet or drive around, and it's really cool. As well, this sliding door reveals a crew compartment where the crew can sleep and eat, and it's really a great role-playing feature, which I don't think that we see a ton on LEGO sets anymore, is just being able to have a space for the crew to work or sleep, really imagine these people actually living and working on this ship. It's incredible. I mean, the play features on this ship, in this set, you're talking about really great modeling for fans, for adult fans and builders who are probably buying this set, let's be honest. It's a $100 price point, though Walmart had an incredible deal on it for some time. I mean, this is a set that's geared toward adults, yet has the playability features that any child would really love, and I think that it is a perfect balance between toyetic display and the actual realized play features, including the fact that, like I'm showing you now, these engines can come off and then you can fly those around too. Like, it's just so cool, the fact that the designers are able to maximize the set's play features. But really, it comes down to this, is that the toyetic nature of LEGO, the play features, the alternate builds, the things that encourage children to build and rebuild and play with these sets are kind of slowly moving towards modeling and display. And maybe it's just my gap as an AFOL. Please let me know down in the comments below if this is not the case, if LEGO is still being as encouraging as ever, but I think it's just something to think about. And it's really interesting to look at this almost as a spectrum. But that being said, please let me know what you think down below. Am I on the money? Am I not on the money? This is just such a great experience being able to talk about these things that are on my mind constantly. I'm actually going to a convention very soon, so hopefully we'll have some really cool pickups to kind of show off from that convention. But until then, happy building, stay safe, subscribe, like if you feel like I've earned it, and have a great night.